In this video, what I want to do is I want to discuss something. Just a different way of looking at relationships. A different way of looking at progress. And honestly, if you can apply this to relationships, what you might find is this might spread to other parts of your life. Because if you've ever been in a situation where you feel like your relationship is going nowhere, or you feel like you're fighting uphill, or you feel like there is just no progress, like you just try, or if you're ever in a situation where you just want something to be a little bit better than how it is. Basically, there is a simple idea for this, and a simple thing that I want to give you in this video that when you understand, it'll really make things flow, make things work, make things not be so goddamn hard. Because honestly, you and I both know relationships shouldn't be hard. And if you're someone who thinks relationships should be hard, you're probably watching this video trying to find things to poke out. Look at him. He looks great, but is that all he's got going for him? Well, in this video, I want to talk about this. Because most people, we get disappointed, we get frustrated, we get anxious, we get desperate, we get needy, we get sad, we get all these negative emotions when we are really looking for results. Now, you might say, but Harvey, I want the relationship. I want to be happy. I want to feel everything. But if we're chasing results, often what happens is when you don't get there, you're going to be upset. Or when you do get there, sometimes the joy is only temporary. That sometimes it doesn't live up to the expectations that you want. So instead of looking for results in your relationships, instead of looking for, that physical thing, say you're single, you want the relationship, say you're in the relationship and you want it to grow, say you're in a relationship where you feel like it's just fuck buddies and you want it to be something more, instead of looking for that something more, what we want to do is we want to look for momentum. I find momentum to be the pinnacle of focus. Because when you focus on getting results, often what you do is you try, and then when you get it, what some people do is once they get the result that they wanted, they stop doing whatever got them that results, and so the relationship falls apart. Sometimes in relationships what people do is they think they have to be something to get the relationship, and then they change themselves, and when they're in the relationship, they stop being that when really, truly, that wasn't what was actually meant to happen. The relationship is between two people, not two facades that people put up. So instead of this, when we look for momentum in a relationship, what you do is you look for the tiniest incremental changes. I've often described this to my clients. Instead of being this a glass half full or a glass half empty type scenario, I look at this as dropping water in the glass. That really, for the glass to be full, for the relationship to grow, to fill your cup first and to overflow and to affect other people, there must be water in the glass. A single drip, 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 and pretty soon, after one little drip over and over and over again, the whole glass gets full. And so if you understand this, and when you understand this, and by watching this you do understand this, that really, momentum is the one thing we can control. You can't control if someone loves you. You can't control if, someone wants you the same way you want them. People would love to think that you could. In fact, that's why probably some people watch videos like this. You see the title, ooh, get him hooked. Ooh, so good. But you can't force love. You've never been able to. You can only collaborate with people. You can join with people. You can conjoin with people. You can cooperate. You can co-create a relationship together. You cannot force it. In fact, once you force a relationship, sometimes people do force them. And when they do force them, they end up being the wrong relationship because the moment you stop forcing it, the relationship falls apart. Or if you're looking for force, you meet people that you have to force it with. So instead, when we focus on momentum, what is momentum? I love the phrase, one of my other clients, we were talking about this. Moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Or momentum, 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 momentum to moment to moments, it's very similar. Because when you focus on momentum, what do? You focus on those little incremental changes. That your relationship is not a label. Your relationship is not a title. Your relationship is not just something you feel, finally I've got what I wanted. I'm so happy. A relationship is two people connecting. That every moment they share together, that is a moment that they share together. So truly, wouldn't it make sense to focus on the moments in the relationship rather than the results? Rather than it looks like what I want it to look like. Thank God I got what I wanted. Now I can rest in peace. Because what happens with most people is they think that the relationship is going to make them happy. They think that, the money, the success, the whatever is going to make them happy. But then you get all of those things and you realize that, is that it? Is that all there is? But when you focus on momentum, you're focusing on the growth. You're focusing on the being in the ooze of life, the flow of life. That you're not trying to force something. You're just looking for the upswing. And then sometimes you'll feel that there's a downswing. Those downward days where you just feel like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? That's a time to focus on momentum. That even in the downswing, you're focusing on how to get up to the upswing. How to be back in it. How to grow in it. That you're only ever moving as fast as you can move. You're driving the car as fast as you can drive. You're being in the moment as fast as you can. And the fact that you might find that, oh my God, but this relationship is not growing as fast as I would, it's because you're going as fast as you can. And when you focus on momentum, you gain energy. You gain movement. You gain reasons to grow. You gain reasons to fight. You gain reasons to express. And when you're in that state and you think, oh, should I text this person? Should I not? And then you go, but I want the relationship. How do I get the relationship? Suddenly it has this magnitude that the other person will feel, because remember, emotional transference. People feel what you have to say more than they hear what you have to say. So when you say something to an extent where you're like, well, I hope they love me, the person on the other end is going to go, oh dear Lord, they need me to love them. I don't know if I can give them everything that they need. But if you're focusing on momentum, what you do is you do something different. You think, oh, should I text this person? What's momentum? Oh, I'm not in the right place yet. I'll just put it away. It doesn't matter. But then later on you get more ideas and more streams join the current, and then the text message you send is so full of fun, so full of momentum that you might think, oh, I want to text this person, but not yet. I don't have any good ideas. Oh, what's momentum? What's momentum? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? Oh, I saw someone that looked like that person. Oh, there's this restaurant. Oh my God. Hey, I saw someone, and then you will send a text message that is the composite parts of all of these good vibrations, feelings that comes together. And, for more on this, you better watch next week's video, because it's how to be more attractive. We're going to be bringing this momentum idea and talking about this a bit more in a much more profound, deeper way, that when you understand it in the most pithy reason, it really brings out the life of it. So please subscribe for more of, for what's coming next. But the thing is, in relationships, you cannot control the outcome. And you might think, but sometimes I focus on the momentum and I just get nowhere. Well, sometimes the smallest form of momentum, the most purest, the smallest, the most micro space of momentum that you can be in is just focusing on the positive. Looking for things to be positive about. Looking for things to be happy about. Looking for things to feel about. Looking for your momentum in the relationship. Because results are fleeting. If you want the happiness, find it from within. If you want the growth, find it from within. If you want the companionship, find it from within. The relationships on your external world will be a reflection of that. They'll be a reflection of your internal world. That when you're feeling desperate, you'll find other people who are desperate. and you'll both be thirsty trying to drink the same cup. But when you look for momentum, you fill your own cup. With every drip it fills. And you might think that that's so slow, but it's the fastest way. Because you focus on the drip. Once you can focus on the drip, you can control the drip. This is the truest definition of being like a conscious creator in life. A conscious creator of your own relationships. Someone who seeks clarity and understanding and realizing that you don't need to know so much. That really it's just momentum. That you've been looking for the relationship to grow anyway. So you might as well just focus on those little incremental steps. It's like saying, hey, I want to do a long jump. I want to jump 100 meters. But you can't jump 100 meters. Then you go, oh, I'm depressed because I couldn't jump 100 meters. So you look for another strategy, which sometimes that's what depression and sadness is. Looking for another strategy, looking for introspection. So you realize that to jump 100 meters, why not just jump 1 meter 100 times? Momentum, 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 momentum. It gets you where you're going to go anyway, at the same time and distance anyway. So why not just focus on that? Why not just focus on being in that momentum? What is the next step? What is the positive feeling? What can I focus on next that brings me one step closer? That brings me into the upswing of the relationship, of the connection, of the fucking your own life. But if you say, why don't I have what I want? Why don't I have the relationship? Why doesn't it work? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? Why am I so confused? All you're doing is fueling momentum in the wrong direction. It's what we call negative momentum. It's away from what you want. And when you realize this, that you're always in a state of momentum, always looking, always finding, your brain works like that. It's connecting all of these dots constantly. You realize that since you are always moving, creating, even while asleep, you are dreaming, even while you are lying down and going, I want to watch TV, you are still moving as fast as you can, but in that moment you just have less momentum, that the only thing you can do is watch something, but you are still finding momentum because then the inspiration might take you to do something else. But when you are finding this momentum, you realize when you pay attention to the fact that you are always finding, seeking momentum, finding something to move forward with, you then realize that if you're always in that state, it pays to just look in the direction that you would like. That some people are asked, when I talk to people, when people ask me questions, they ask me, sometimes people don't ask me questions. They just tell me a statement. They don't even say anything. Then I ask them, well, great, thank you for telling me a story. They go, oh, but what's your thoughts on this? And I say, well, first of all, you don't come to me for thoughts. You come to me for results. I have to be very clear with that with people. But the second thing is, you didn't ask me a question. So you've got to ask a question. The third thing is, most people are focusing on the negative. And you're focusing on the negative here. Most people are their own worst enemies. Most people beat themselves up. Most people aren't friends with themselves. Most people talk down on themselves, so we want someone to love us so that way we might be able to feel how we think we should feel about ourselves. But the love will come as a result of your good vibration, of you understanding who you are, of you feeling good, and most of all, of you being in your momentum. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you do want to find your momentum, fucking press subscribe, because I'm going to be extrapolating on this next week when we talk more about attraction and how to really make other people feel that you're attractive, or how to attract other people more specifically. And make sure to leave a like in this video, because if you did, then I like you, and it really makes me feel like, I understand what people like and what people don't like. And if you do want to work with me one-on-one, go to www.loveonmyterms.com. And if you're interested in learning more about self-love, I have my 7-day self-love course, which is www.7dayselflovecourse.com. So check that out. And for more articles, more videos, more stuff like this, go to www.gethimhooked.com. That's really my website. The others are like URLs that link to it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed it. So thank you so much.